once again to our show In Our Teens, a show that brings together parents, teachers, and professionals to help us understand the remarkable journey of adolescence. आपके रिस्पॉन्स, आपके लाइक्स, आपके शेयर्स के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. Thank you for writing in your feedback because your feedback helps us improve. तो बढ़ते हैं आज के टॉपिक की तरफ. आज का टॉपिक थोड़ा सीरियस है, थोड़ा लीगल. चिल्ड्रन हु आर बिलो 18 years of age, हमारे कंट्री के लॉ के हिसाब से उन्हें माइनर कहा जाता है. और हम ये चाहते हैं कि हमारे बच्चे अपनी कंट्री के लॉ के बारे में पूरी तरह से जानकारी रखें. बिकॉज वी आर ब्रिंगिंग अप टीनेजर्स एज लॉ अबाइडिंग सिटीजन्स ऑफ आवर कंट्री who understand both their legal rights and duties. In conversation today with Mrs. Aparajita Chandra, जो पिछले 22 साल से एक practicing lawyer है, civil, commercial and company law. And more than that, she's a mother to 2 beautiful daughters, one being a teenager. And she's here with us today to help us understand and enlighten us on the legal rights and duties of our teenagers. Mrs. Chandra, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Mansi, for having me over.
We had to have you over because it was such an important topic that we've been looking forward to, trying to get your date. It's truly it's an honor to have you here today because you're so well versed in terms of the topic that we are going to discuss today. As I've said in my introduction, that आज का topic थोड़ा serious है, थोड़ा legal है. तो अपराजिता, आप क्या बताना चाहेंगे? सबसे पहले जब मैं आपसे पूछती हूँ कि टीनेजर्स, मोस्टली जो 18 years के नीचे के एज ग्रुप के बच्चे हैं, माइनर्स, व्हेन आई स्पीक अबाउट माइनर्स, व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट लीगल थिंग दैट कम्स टू योर माइंड एंड दैट यू वुड वांट टू शेड लाइट ऑन?
We are in a world of technology, right? हम इतने ज़्यादा exposed हैं to social media, to every kind of information, so much of information floating around you. कि बच्चे कुछ ज़्यादा ही इन्फ्लुएंस्ड हो रहे हैं. वो समझ नहीं पाते कि उन्हें क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन उनके लिए रेलिवेंट है, क्या नहीं है. जो भी है दे आर अब्जॉर्बिंग इट, राइट? सो विच इज़ लीडिंग देम टू अ लॉट ऑफ इश्यूज इंटरनली बिकॉज वो पेरेंट्स से बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, वो किसी से शेयर नहीं कर रहे हैं. उनको लग रहा है वो जो भी पढ़ रहे हैं, जो भी देख रहे हैं वही सही है. There is nothing beyond it. Like हमारे time में it was less of exposure, more of bookish knowledge, and we used to go by that. अभी अगर आप reels ही देखें तो everybody is just making reels about any information, anything, right? So that is where I feel that's the first thing that hits me when we talk about teenagers. Cyber.
Yes.
Cyber, information technology. ये सारे जो words हैं ये हम सिर्फ सुन रहे हैं बट सीरियसली इसको नहीं ले रहे हैं. पेरेंट्स भी नहीं ले रहे हैं. आई एम नॉट ओनली इट्स नॉट ओनली अबाउट द चिल्ड्रन, इट्स ऑल्सो अबाउट पेरेंट्स.
पेरेंट्स, आपको लगता है कि पेरेंट्स इसे सीरियसली इसलिए नहीं ले पा रहे क्योंकि वो खुद दे आर नॉट बैक्ड बाय गुड इन्फॉर्मेशन?
यस, कुड बी. वन इज दैट. टू इज दैट दे आर नॉट रियलाइजिंग कि जो बच्चे शेल में जाते जा रहे हैं, राइट? दे आर नॉट टॉकिंग टू यू, आपके साथ डिनर नहीं कर रहे हैं, आपके साथ लंच नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप उसको नॉर्मल समझ रहे हैं कि अच्छा बच्चा बड़ा हो रहा है, ग्रोइंग अप ईयर है. वी शुडंट बी पोकिंग टू मच आवर नोज इनटू व्हाटएवर दे आर डूइंग. बच्चे भी वैसे रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं.
हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि शायद हम उन्हें स्पेस दे रहे हैं.
करेक्ट. which is at times not so safe because kids are not safe out there. We all know that. And this is especially this message I want to give to parents. Please look into what they are doing. It's just okay to pick up their phone and check. Of course, they should not come to know about it.
अगर ऐसा करते हैं हम कि बच्चों का अगर पासपोर्ट भी पूछ लेते हैं तो बच्चे ह्यूमन राइट्स खड़े हो जाते हैं और बोलते हैं कि you are invading my privacy.
Absolutely, they are offended. That's the word. They are extremely offended as to why are we getting into their space, right? But लीगल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से मैं ये डेफिनेटली बोलना चाहूँगी कि बच्चों, प्लीज़ अंडरस्टैंड दैट यू आर इन अ वर्ल्ड विच इज़ नॉट सेफ.
यस,
राइट? यू आर इन अ वर्ल्ड विच इज़ एक्सपोज टू टू मेनी थिंग्स. साइबर बुलिंग फॉर वन.
मैम, जब आपने ये टर्म का नाम ले ही लिया है, साइबर बुलिंग, थोड़ा इस पे आप स्पॉटलाइट करेंगी तो हमारी ऑडियंस समझ पाएगी.
एब्सोल्युटली. सो व्हाट इज साइबर बुलिंग? आप किसी भी सोशल मीडिया पे हैं, मान लीजिए आप फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन Instagram पे, which is the most common thing between kids now. Facebook is our age.
Passe, yes.
Facebook पे आज कोई बच्चा नहीं है, right? So they are mostly on YouTube, they are mostly on Instagram, even on YouTube. I see messages where if you make even a single comment, they just pounce upon you.
Yes.
That is also one form of cyberbullying. The other, of course, is Instagram पे आप posts डालते हैं. अगर आप थोड़े मोटे हैं या ज़्यादा पतले हैं या your complexion, people are abusing you,
trolling
talking nonsense about you. Even with kids, जैसे Instagram पे if you see there's this chat option, right? So kids are chatting with each other.
Yes.
They have their school groups, college groups. Even in that, I in fact recently saw this show. I don't know if you've seen it, Class. I think it's on Netflix or Prime. There also this is the same thing. How kids are, bullying each other by way of, they don't of course name Instagram, but there is one social platform on which all the kids of that class they are posting rubbish videos about each other or things about each other, and how everybody in the class is bullying that kid. This can lead to a lot of issues.
Yes.
Psychological of course है. बहुत सारे बच्चे suicidal temperament के हो जाते हैं. They don't know a way out of it, right? Because those are the same kids you have to face in school.
Yes.
Or in college when you're going back. They don't want to go back to school. They don't want to go back to their class.
Correct.
Because it's a continued process, right? Cyberbullying, मैं ये बोलना चाहती हूँ बच्चों मत करो, because there are provisions in law where if complaints are made against you, you may fall in trouble, right? So let's not get into that in the first place. The other thing which we see is a lot of kids may not know the repercussion of posting stuff about their friends.
Yes. Yes.
About anyone else, about some religious outfit or about some political party.
Yes.
These are all issues which we need to address with children. And I'm sure this is a very good platform where you're giving out, certain information, but this should definitely be followed up by your subscribers or your viewers into more informational, things like they may get advice from some professional.
Yes.
They may look into the fact that whether the kids are being cyberbullied, whether there is issue, they should, look up to counselors, those kind of things.
अपराजिता, जब हमने ये प्लेटफॉर्म शुरू करने के बारे में सोचा तो हमारा थॉट प्रोसेस वही था कि कुछ कॉन्वर्सेशंस जैसे ये हैं जी, साथ में साइबरबुलिंग कहाँ, साइबरबुलिंग के आसपास एक सेक्सटॉर्शन आता है जी, चाइल्ड पॉर्न आता है,
एब्सोल्युटली
ये सारी चीज़ें पेरेंट्स कहीं ना कहीं एक हेजिटेशन महसूस करते हैं अपने बच्चों के साथ डिस्कस करने के लिए. तो हमने सोचा कि क्यों ना हम ये कॉन्वर्सेशंस, फ्रैंक ओपन कॉन्वर्सेशंस ओपन अप करें जी, ताकि पेरेंट्स इन्हें समझें एंड देन दे कैन, जैसे कि आपने कहा, फॉलो इट अप विद प्रोफेशनल्स. करेक्ट. क्योंकि ये चीज़ें एग्जिस्ट करती हैं, ये चीज़ें हो रही हैं जी, जहाँ बच्चे ऑनलाइन किसी स्ट्रेंजर को befriend कर लेते हैं और फिर योजनाएं बनाते हैं कि उसे जाके मिले. करेक्ट. Which is so dangerous. Absolutely. And that they find it adventurous. The worst part is that, they think, अरे हम blind date पे जा रहे हैं या हम ऐसे आदमी को मिलने जा रहे हैं who's, we've known over a social media. हमने assess कर लिया. Yes, we know everything. We know the person. There are a lot of children who are getting influenced by all this. Nudes are being passed on without understanding. Ma'am, coming to this also, if nudes are being passed on, I just want you to elaborate on this point कि कैसे friends, sometimes our trusted friends also share your very intimate pictures जो शायद आपने उनके साथ share किए हो. Correct. And please tell our audience that such pictures are also traded for money. Absolutely. So this is one part which has been, even cybercrime cells. We have cybercrime cells almost with every police station, every police authority. Lot of such issues go to them also. Where these kind of nudes have been, or maybe not nudes, maybe intimate pictures have been shared with a friend and then they just circulate it. Yes. Without understanding what they are doing. The person who has shared with some confidence with you, right? You can land that person in trouble, that child can get into trouble, and all of this is happening at a very, very deep level, It's more deep than what we are thinking. Yes, it is. It is a problem which is much more deep rooted. So these are the things which the children should be careful about. We are not saying that don't use social media.
but use social media with responsibility.
Yes.
As they say in liquor, drink, consumption,
Yeah.
but then with responsibility. That is exactly the thing that happens. And you then get addicted to all these kind of things where, you are spending most of your time on Instagram, most of your time on other social media.
Yes. Everything is out there.
Everything is out
I
there.
mean, sometimes children knowingly, unknowingly share their location,
Yes.
share their, very, very private information कि घर में कितने लोग हैं, कहाँ जाते हैं, टाइमिंग्स क्या है, क्योंकि बातों बातों में चैट करते करते उन्हें ये पता नहीं चलता कि लाइन कहाँ ड्रॉ करें.
Right.
तो काफ़ी वाइटल इन्फॉर्मेशन हो जाती है. और एडिक्शन की वजह से अभी फिलहाल में मैम काफ़ी न्यूज़ हेडलाइंस से कि बच्चे वायलेंट हो गए, दे अटैक देयर पेरेंट्स, कि पेरेंट्स ने बोला फ़ोन मत यूज़ करो.
Absolutely.
So somewhere it is affecting them.
Absolutely. And the reaction is unimaginable. I mean, what are you reacting to? आप क्या सोच रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं? और हम ये सोचते हैं ना कि ये सिर्फ बड़े शहरों में हो रहा है. ऐसा नहीं है. आप अगर देखिए, if you see the reels and all, there are such small towns which are surviving on these.
Yes.
It's become their profession. जब तो ये उनका प्रोफेशन हो गया था.
सबको वायरल होना है. सब लोग छोटे छोटे वीडियोस और रील्स बना करके उसको मोनेटाइज कर रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं. तो ये जो प्रॉब्लम है, ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ मेट्रोज या बड़े शहरों का नहीं है. राइट. दिस इज वेरी वेरी डीप रूटेड एंड किड्स नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट लिमिट कि हाँ, यूज़ करो, बिल्कुल यूज़ करो, क्यों नहीं करो. एंड देयर इज टेक्नोलॉजी दैट इज फॉर यू, दैट इज फॉर योर पेरेंट्स एज वेल. But you have to draw that line. You have to see whom you are interacting Correct.
with. I know of children who are a part of group where they know nobody, right? And there you are speaking to each other. You're using foul language. You're doing everything that you would have imagined to do in the real world.
So befriending people by profile pictures.
And there is one more thing which I would want to add, which is called, some of the kids are in fact into hacking also.
Yes.
You're hacking your friend's account.
Yes.
You are doing it for fun. I know somebody who did it for fun and realized that this was not the right thing. Other than that, there is also identity theft.
Yes.
That is another form of cybercrime which you have to look into. Right? You do identity theft. क्या करते हैं आप? अपने friend का photo लेते हैं, एक दूसरा account बना लेते हैं. You are actually, this is not fun. This is a crime. You're doing an identity
Being
theft
a perpetrator.
of someone.
Yes.
You are maybe interacting with other people in the name of that particular
Person.
friend or colleague or whoever. That is again a kind of crime. So there are a lot of things, very layered, different kinds of, including hacking, etc. So these things the kids should learn. Read. If you're so much on social media, I always say use it to read better things.
Yes.
Instead of doing this stuff, read on what can be a difficult thing for you. Why get into the zone itself?
Because it's somewhere in the because of the peer pressure, उन्हें लगता है कि ऐसी चीजें करना, मैं हैक करके दिखाऊंगा, कूल हो गया, या किसी का प्रोफाइल पिक लगा के कुछ मिसचिफ करना. ये मिसचिफ नहीं समझी जाती, बल्कि ये कुछ I dare to do this.
Yes. Absolutely.
There is tremendous self-satisfaction in which is worrisome.
They just want to prove a point that I can, and this
I did it.
also, yes, I did it, and they can also use it just to tell the kids that if somebody does it, they can also use it to blackmail you.
Yes.
Saying that this is an account I have created, I can post XYZ pics of yours, or I can, share out information about you. So when you're using your social media accounts, please look into the privacy policies. In fact, these social media accounts don't even allow certain age, below certain age, you
So
cannot even
it's
have
13
your
years
account.
plus.
Yeah,
Yes.
but then 13 years is no age.
कोई रुकता नहीं है.
13 और वो age भी नहीं है.
In fact, मैम इसमें भी क्या कहें, it all begins from the parents. 5-6 साल का बच्चा खाना नहीं खा रहा है, रील्स लगा के दे दो, तो बच्चा खाना खा रहा है. Child is absorbing. Now that particular social media has an algorithm in such a way कि अगर आप दिन का एक 9 बजे के बाद अगर आप scroll कर रहे हैं mindlessly, तो every 6th reel is soft porn. It is gently being
Pushed
slided.
inside. Correct.
और अगर आपने उस रील पे, उस सॉफ्ट पॉर्न रील पे अगर आपने 10 सेकेंड भी उसको अगर टाइम स्पेंड हो गया, तो फिर सारे उसी तरीके से आपके सजेशंस आने शुरू हो जाते हैं। जो कहीं ना कहीं बच्चे कुछ अवेयर हैं, कुछ अवेयर नहीं है, लेकिन जेंटली इस चीज़ को इंट्रोड्यूस ऑलरेडी हो चुके हैं, और माँ बाप को शायद लगता है कि बच्चे रील्स देख रहे हैं, बच्चे रील्स देख,
पता नहीं चलता है। वही चीज़ें, इनफैक्ट मैंने तो बहुत सारे मतलब दे बेबीज आर बोर्न एंड दे मेक एन अकाउंट। तो बेबी को तो पता नहीं है, तो पेरेंट्स की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है ना कि आप क्या कर रहे हैं, क्यों उसको एक्सपोज कर रहे हैं। And that is happening with public figures also. You know, your account is a public account and you're tagging your kid's account in that. You
but somewhere
exposing.
the influencers feel that कि बच्चे का अकाउंट है, उसके नीचे हमने लिख दिया managed by me,
हाँ,
मतलब ये legit हो गया है। कहीं ना कहीं वो ये नहीं समझ रहे कि आप बच्चे कंसेंट जो है ना मैम, कंसेंट हमारी कंट्री में काफ़ी टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड किया जाता है। मतलब हम ये सोचते हैं हमारा बच्चा है तो हम उसके वीडियो डालेंगे, कुछ डालेंगे, लेकिन शायद वो बच्चा जब 18 साल या 15 साल का भी हो जाए तो आपको मुड़कर पूछ सकता है कि आपने क्यों किया, आपने मुझसे थोड़ी पूछा था। सो या इट इज समवेयर द पेरेंट्स आर इंडल्जिंग एंड क्योंकि बच्चे पेरेंट्स को ऑब्जर्व करके ज़्यादा सीखते हैं। तो मैम कमिंग टू द टॉपिक अगेन, आपने साइबर लॉ के बारे में बताया जी। तो कोई बच्चा ऐसे इस तरह के ऑफेंसेस करता है, जैसे सेक्सटॉर्शन हो गया, साइबर बुलिंग हो गया, बीइंग अ परपेट्रेटर, तो साइबर क्राइम सेल माइनर बच्चों के लिए किस तरह के एक्शन लेता है?
सो हियर व्हाट हैपेंस इज, देखिए वैसे तो बच्चों के लिए एक्शन के लिए एजेस है, राइट? अगर 7 एंड बिलो है, 7 to 12 है, 12 एंड अबव है, सो देयर आर वेरियस क्लासिफिकेशंस। उसमें देन दे विल मोस्टली व्हाट दे कैन डू इज दे विल कम एंड काउंसिल द चाइल्ड, क्योंकि अगर आप जुवेनाइल जस्टिस एक्ट भी देखें, विथ विच आई हैव अ सर्टन कनेक्शन एज वेल, कि जब ये रिवाइज हो रहा था तो आई वाज स्टिल इन दिल्ली एट दैट टाइम।
ये रिवाइज हुआ 2006 2000 का है,
यस,
और ये अमेंड हुआ वापस
2015-16 के आसपास। बट जब मैं उस समय रैली में थी, इंसिडेंटली my office was working on it.
Okay.
So I have always had that connection, yes, the connection with it. So उसमें यही है कि आपका ages defined है, right? अगर आप IPC भी देखें, CRPC भी देखें, सब में ages defined है कि किस age से किस age तक आपको, अब अगर आप 7 years and below हैं, so they do not treat you as a criminal in that case. Again from 7 to 12, right? Then again 12 onwards is what comes under the Juvenile Justice Act, going up to 16 years for boys and 18 years for girls, if I'm not wrong. So that is how it has been defined. So they will come, they will counsel. Of course, you cannot be punished in a manner in which an adult would have been because of your age, because of other laws which are in action. But then yes, you will get exposed to that kind of a treatment from the police. You're falling, taking yourself into trouble.
And today, because of digitalization everywhere, आपका नाम एक बार आ गया तो कहीं भी पॉपअप हो जाएगा। आप आधार कार्ड का नंबर डालोगे, आप कहाँ पकड़े गए थे, आपके क्या ऑफेंसेस से, सारा। So it is a digital footprint,
yes,
which cannot be erased.
It cannot be erased, and therefore you have to be extremely careful in what you're doing. Do not take it lightly. It's not a joke.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
It's not a joke. कल को अगर कुछ भी हुआ, आप पकड़े जाते हैं, मान लीजिए बहुत सारे ऐसे बच्चे, because 16 years is a big age, right? It's not, you're not a kid.
It's a new 18.
There are incidents where terrorist squads, those kind of terrorist organizations are influencing such children. Religion के नाम पे हम कितने सारे तो देख रहे हैं ना, they are being influenced through social media, brainwashed. आपको बार जो आपने बोला कि अगर आप एक एक्स टाइप का रील देखते तो फिर वो धीरे-धीरे वैसे ही वाले एल्गोरिथम इसी तरह वर्क करता है कि आपको उसी तरह, अगर मैं कुकिंग का देखती हूँ तो मुझे वो दिन भर कुकिंग ही कराता रहता है, राइट? सो सिमिलरली बहुत सारे ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं जो काम कर रहे हैं इस टू इन्फ्लुएंस यंग माइंड्स, so that they can influence you and get you to do something wrong. In many states we've seen, we are hearing time and again कि through social media they are influencing children. एक बार आप 15-16 साल के हैं and immediately you get into adult, you are treated into adult and you are going into a world which you did not even fathom. आपने उसके बारे में सोचा भी नहीं था कि मैं कभी किसी टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को ज्वाइन कर लूँगा, लेकिन आपका ब्रेन वॉश ऐसा हो चुका है कि यू लैंड योरसेल्फ इनटू इट, you literally land yourself. You could have done much better, something else. So you again reiterating the same thing, use social media but responsibly. Don't fall into these traps, because these are criminal actions, to say so. आप जब तक जेल में हैं, अगर जेल हो गया तो आप एज अपना प्रूव करते रह जाएंगे कि भाई मैं तो 16 साल का ही था, मैं तो जुवेनाइल ही था. And we've seen that in Nirvaya's case, right?
Yeah.
One of the criminals
was a juvenile.
He was a juvenile. Finally he did prove whatever, but then वो जिंदगी तो खराब हो गई ना. जब तक आप इस सब से बाहर निकलेंगे, you're ruined.
As you speak, ma'am, goosebumps. I really, it's a prayer कि बच्चे समझें कि और कोई बड़ी गलती करने से पहले एक कदम पीछे ले.
बिल्कुल. और listen to your parents.
अब मैं वही आपसे कह रही थी कि इस सब में पेरेंट्स की भूमिका बहुत डेलिकेट हो जाती है. जहाँ बच्चे कोऑपरेट नहीं करते, मुंह पे डोर स्लैम कर देते हैं, साइलेंट ट्रीटमेंट देते हैं, जहाँ पेरेंट्स बहुत स्ट्रेस्ड हो जाते हैं. सो आप ऐसे सिचुएशन में, जैसे कि आपने कहा कि पेरेंट्स को ध्यान रखना चाहिए, लेकिन ध्यान रखने के लिए अगर बच्चा कोऑपरेट ही ना करे, क्योंकि कभी कभी बच्चे एक्सट्रीम में चले जाते हैं कि जैसे अभी हमने एक बच्चे से पूछा था कि अगर हम आपसे कह रहे हैं कि आप अपना लोकेशन शेयरिंग रखें हमारे साथ, तो हम केयर से कह रहे हैं कि बिकॉज यू आर आउटसाइड देयर ऑन द रोड, सो वी जस्ट वांट टू नो दैट यू आर सेफ. बट बच्चे इसे स्पाइंग की तरफ से ले लेते हैं एंड देन दे रिटेलिएट. तो आप खुद भी एक टीनेजर की पेरेंट हैं, तो आप कैसे बोलेंगे कि ये डेलिकेट पोजीशन को पेरेंट्स कैसे हैंडल करें, कैसे अपने बच्चों को बताएं? They need to confide in their parents what's happening.
Absolutely. See, there, in fact, even in my case, I would say that we face resistance from our child also.
Yes.
But then we have to make the child understand, some way or the other. कभी डांट से, कभी समझा के, कभी counseling. I don't even rule out counseling. Parents should be open to that as well. A lot of parents think counseling is a taboo.
Yeah.
Right? No, it is not. Give the child that option. If you are not able to handle it, I always say please take professional help. There is no shame in doing that. For me, I have a lot of friends who are into counseling, and also I'm able to reach them.
Correct.
But if you are not, then please reach out to someone professional. Let your child be counseled. It's okay. We may not know everything. We may not be able to handle it. We are not God.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. We make mistakes too.
We make mistakes. कहीं ना कहीं शायद हमारे ब्रिंगिंग अप में ऐसा रहा है where we have given that much of space to the kid कि वो आपके they're slamming the door on your face or doing XYZ. But let us understand we are in a different world now. Yeah? Which I tell my husband also often that we are in a different world. We need to treat our kids or deal with our kids in a more matured manner
and open-minded
than what our parents did, because we were not those kids. Right? Again, जब बच्चों में ही difference है तो parents को भी तो different होना पड़ेगा ना.
मैं अभी किसी गेस्ट से बात कर रहे थे, तो मैं बोलती थी कि as teenagers हमें तो माँ इतना बात भी नहीं करती थी. only eye movement and we used to know what it meant.
True.
Times are different. और कहीं ना कहीं बच्चे already parents से एक कदम आगे हैं. तो parents के पास वक्त बहुत कम है, और ये टेक्नोलॉजी बच्चे फटाफट सीख लेते हैं, जबकि पेरेंट्स अभी भी कुछ पेरेंट्स हैं जो अभी भी स्ट्रगल करते हैं अपने स्मार्टफोन्स के साथ.
राइट.
तो
और वो भी नहीं समझ पाते हैं कि बच्चे किस तरफ अपने आप को लेके जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि आप मॉनिटर नहीं कर रहे.
यस.
ठीक है. सो इट्स ओके टू पिक अप द फोन वंस इन अ व्हाइल एंड जस्ट क्रॉस चेक व्हाट द किड इज डूइंग. It's
not fine. It's care.
Yes, it is care, and that is what the kids need to understand, that we care for you, therefore we are doing it. We have nothing to do. अगर तुम सब कुछ लीगल कर रहे हो या सब कुछ सही है तुम्हारे फोन में, तो what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Passcode keeps changing every week.
Every week. I still don't know. So that does happen, right? Because kids are fearful. Why? They are fearful because they think that their parents will not understand. So give them that confidence that I understand what you want. I understand what kind of a phase you are in, maybe because of the age.
Yes.
You might be inclined romantically. You might have some, those kind of urges
feelings,
which are very, very age related. Nobody can deny that. वो
Yeah.
छोटा शहर हो बड़ा शहर हो हर जगह वो चीज़ है, right? So there the kids should also understand that your parents care for you and they just want to keep you safe.
Yeah.
They don't want you to get into trouble, get harmed in any way, whether it is psychological or physical.
Yeah.
Because आपको वो psychologically भी आपको affect कर रहा
Yes.
है ना?
Yes.
कुछ बच्चे बोलते हैं मैं I'm not good looking, I'm not so affectionate or friendly towards me.
I'm not a part of that.
I'm not a
that group.
yes, the elite group,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is there almost in every school, right? So these are things where parents also need to understand and kids also. It's a very two-way street.
Two-way street.
It's a very two-way street. It cannot be just about parents or it cannot be just about children.
और ये आसान नहीं है. I mean,
हाँ,
ये
नहीं,
difficult
एकदम
road
बिल्कुल
है.
आसान नहीं है.
और
बिल्कुल
ये
आसान
एक
नहीं है.
impressionable age है, especially 12 to 19 years, जहाँ बच्चे का actual foundation बनता है, career का भी और personality का भी.
Correct.
So yeah, और पेरेंट्स मुझे ऐसा रहता है कभी कभी सोचते हैं कि टीनेजर है तो अभी थोड़ा ढील दे देना चाहिए, बट एक्चुअली दैट्स द एज जहाँ पे आप उस पर सबसे ज़्यादा ध्यान रखें. दूसरा मैम, साइबर के बारे में तो आपने हमसे कह दिया एंड बहुत स्कैरी है, एक्चुअली बहुत स्कैरी है एंड आई होप
It's a dark world.
इट इज़ अ डार्क वर्ल्ड एंड आई होप दे रियलाइज इट. अपराजिता, आपने साइबर लॉ के बारे में हमें बताया एंड amazing information that you gave. Another thing that और एक worrisome चीज़ है teenagers के लिए, early drinking and drugs.
Early drinking is something which I know it's happening with a lot of kids. That also is because of, trying to be stylish. That it is a status symbol that I go to pubs, I drink. I don't know how many parents are aware that, even during the day, children just sneak out. You may think कि भाई मेरा बच्चा रात को तो घर पे ही है, but दिन में क्या कर रहा है? So that also needs to be checked. I don't know. I also don't have any formula for it, how to keep a tab on your child. But then you have to be aware that there might be a chance that your child is sneaking out during the day. If you see the bylines of a lot of schools,
Yes.
which I've seen myself, kids from very, very good schools are smoking in the bylanes once they've come out, because they probably go home on their own or something, and there is no
Parents are working.
Parents do not know that early smoking is a very, very old thing. A lot of kids even earlier used to start smoking from their school days. And if you're sitting in your family group or in your college friend group, you will come to know of those stories.
Yes.
कि अरे मैं तो 6th में स्मोक करने लगा था, मैं तो 7th में स्मोक करने लगा था. बट जब वही चीज़ आपके बच्चों के साथ होगी तो इट्स नॉट सो कूल एंड फनी, राइट? वो आपको उस समय स्टोरीज बताने के लिए बहुत अच्छी स्टोरीज हैं, मगर इट इज़ नॉट सो कूल, राइट? सो दैट इज़ वन थिंग विच येस इट्स they have an eligibility age, of course not for smoking. They should not be sold. That is why if you would have seen कि अब काफ़ी सारे ऐसे laws आ गए हैं जिनमें कि आप छोटे बच्चों को नहीं बेच सकते सिगरेट या इस तरह की चीज़ें. Again, kids because of their height or whatever, they can always feign कि मैं 18 से ऊपर हूँ या मैं 20 से ऊपर हूँ या मैं 21 से ऊपर हूँ. जो
and pubs need business.
So they are not seeing your IDs. No. I don't think most of the pubs are doing that.
No.
Most of the restaurants are doing that. You can order a beer if you're sitting in a restaurant. They will not come and ask you कि भाई अपना ID proof पहले दिखाओ. If you look 20, 21, 22,
That's
they
it.
will
You're
serve
being
it,
given.
right?
Yeah.
So that definitely is a crime, and some states have punishments for it. Ages are different for certain states. They are 21, for some it may be 24 or something. उसमें भी आपके ऊपर फाइन लग सकता है अगर आप पकड़े गए तो. और अगर उससे एक्सट्रीम है कि आप कहीं लेकर जा रहे हैं बॉटल या कुछ, तो दैट कैन ऑल्सो लैंड यू इन ट्रबल. So the fine may maybe start from 10,000 in certain states and going upwards, with some states having provision for imprisonment for 6 months or whatever. तो जब आप ड्रग्स तो खैर एक्सट्रीम ही है, उसमें तो आप सोचे ही मत कि आपके लिए कुछ भी रियायत होगी. ड्रिंकिंग में ये है कि हाँ फाइन है, कहीं कहीं पे कुछ मिनिमम पनिशमेंट हो सकता है, कहीं पे यू मे बी डेल्ट विथ अकॉर्डिंगली. बट इन एनी केस इट्स अ क्राइम. चाहे वो 1 रुपए का फाइन हो या 6 महीने की जेल हो या 10 साल की जेल हो, आप अपनी जिंदगी खराब कर रहे हैं.
बट मैम मुझे लगता है मोर देन फाइन द किड्स नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आपका एक बार नाम डिजिटली वहाँ आ गया तो वो सब जगह
है,
उसे इरेज करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट
है. और इस वजह से केयरफुल रहिए. ये सारी चीज़ें आप एक उम्र के बाद कर सकते हैं, आपको कोई नहीं रोकेगा. आप 21 के हो गए, 24 के हो गए, 26 के हो गए, तो आपको कोई नहीं रोकने वाला है. बट सेल्फ कंट्रोल इज व्हाट,
सेल्फ रेगुलेटिंग
इज व्हाट द किड्स शुड डू. एंड बहुत जगह मैंने देखा है कि अगर कोई बेचारा बंदा अपने आप को सेल्फ रेगुलेट कर भी रहा है तो पीयर प्रेशर इतना है कि यू गिव इन.
यस,
अरे पीते हैं ना या फिर करते हैं ना, अरे हाउ डज इट मैटर, और यू आर नॉट कूल इफ यू आर नॉट डूइंग इट.
बाद में च्युइंगम खा लेना,
हाँ,
नाम तो नहीं समझे.
यस, करेक्ट, एब्सोल्युटली. तो यस, ये इट इज फन डूइंग इट टुगेदर व्हेन यू आर इन अ ग्रुप, बट देन इट इज नॉट द राइट थिंग टू डू.
It has consequences.
It has its consequences. चलो आज नहीं पकड़ेगा इसलिए तुम्हें लगता है कि अरे हमें थोड़ी कोई पकड़ रहा है. But then there has to be that self-regulation, and peer pressure is something which you yourself have to overcome.
Yeah.
Even at our age, we know friends who do not drink at all.
Yes.
And they've not been drinking despite all peer pressure.
Yes.
Even at the age
amidst those friends as well.
Yes, absolutely. So they opt for healthy drinks, or they opt for something else. So it's not necessary always that you have to bend to these kind of pressures.
और ड्रिंकिंग की भी अगर गवर्नमेंट ने एक उम्र डाली है तो उसके पीछे भी एक कोई साइंस है कि उसके लिए ड्रग्स की कोई उम्र नहीं है, कोई उम्र में ड्रग्स नहीं करने हैं, बिकॉज उसका कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस बुरा ही है.
Yes, it is completely illegal. And आप कहीं ना कहीं आप ये नहीं रियलाइज करते हैं कि कभी आप ड्रग लेने से कहीं ड्रग पेडलर ना बन जाए.
Yes, that's worse.
Knowingly, unknowingly आप स्कूल से निकल रहे हैं, आपको कोई पकड़ा देगा एक कि अरे आगे दे दो, इसको दे दो, इसके कुछ 100 रुपए मिल जाएंगे, 200 रुपए मिल जाएंगे तुम्हें. But what are you doing? You're landing yourself in big trouble. So don't get into these kind of things. Even if your school bylanes are, famous
Full
for
of,
these things, yes, please stay away. All my growing years, me, myself, and for my brothers, I was always so scared of, getting into this dry drugs thing. मुझे लगता था चलो अगर ड्रिंक कर लूँगी तो शायद फिर भी ठीक है, बट मेंटली यू हैव टू सेल्फ रेगुलेट योरसेल्फ कि नहीं, मुझे नहीं करना है, बिकॉज इट हैज इट्स रेपरकशंस हेल्थ वाइज आल्सो एंड लीगली. तो ऑफ कोर्स भैया देयर इज there's no reason why
and also under the influence of alcohol, under the influence of drugs, आपका कोई भी एडवांटेज ले सकता है. ये भी एक बहुत
बड़ी चीज़ है. Again, going back to, see, earlier we always thought of sexual stuff only related to girls. हमें लगता था अरे लड़कियों का रेप हो जाता है, ये हो जाता है. But now it is not about the gender. We all know and understand this. Maybe earlier also it was not about gender. But people never realized it. Or the parents
maybe it was not reported.
Yes, and parents never thought about it.
Yes.
उन्हें नहीं लगता था कि मेरा बेटा अकेले अगर 10 बजे रात में कहीं जा रहा है या 12 बजे रात में कहीं जा रहा है
तो उसके साथ भी गलत हो
सकता है. और हो सकता है कि कुछ लोगों के साथ हुआ होगा. We never know. They never reported, as you said. And also it was a taboo. कोई लड़का आके नहीं बोलेगा कि मेरा रेप हो गया या मेरे साथ कोई sexual assault हो गया. लड़कियां भी नहीं बोलती हैं. Not that all rapes or all sexual assaults are ever reported.
Yeah, true.
We have statistics to that effect also, which says that not all of them are reported. What we are seeing is barely, maybe 1/4, 1/10, 1/20th of what is actually happening around. So this is also one of the important things that kids should realize, that under the influence of alcohol and drugs, somebody may take advantage of you.
Yes.
Which is a very spiral
vicious
thing.
cycle. Yeah.
It's a very spiral thing. कुछ आपका वीडियो बन जाए, कुछ ये हो जाए. We never know what's happening. So these things, kids at their age, especially teenagers, when you're talking about that, they won't realize, because they don't know that the world is like this. They think everything is safe. जैसे घर है वैसे ही बाहर है, but it is not.
Absolutely.
And nowadays, even you're not safe at home also.
Yeah.
So you have to be alert all the time. Even if your parents are not there, be alert.
Yeah.
Keep a watch around yourself. Who's doing what? If you have house help or anything. So these things, I urge parents also to educate their children.
जैसे कहते हैं कि abuser usually आपके पहचान का ही होता
है. And the first abuser is always a relative. this is a proven thing. There has been research on it. There's a lot of statistics on it that your first abuser is always somebody who's been close to you.
Yeah.
Could be a house help, could be a relative, could be anyone.
Somebody known.
Anybody, somebody known. So be alert. Parents should be alert. Parents should know and tell the kids. They won't know till you educate them.
इतना आप सब बता रही है तो मैं सिर्फ ये सोच रही हूँ कि एज अ पेरेंट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज और ड्यूटीज काफ़ी बढ़ गई हैं.
बहुत.
स्ट्रेस बढ़ गया है क्योंकि पेरेंट्स ऑल्सो हैव टू डील विद देयर करियर्स, दे हैव टू डील विद द ग्रोइंग लाइफस्टाइल, they have to deal with the growing school fees, they also have to deal with the, you know, I hope the children are doing well, उनका studies, उनका future, साथ ही साथ ये जो साथ में आता है पैकेज के साथ. So I think कुछ पेरेंट्स के लिए काफ़ी ओवरवेलमिंग हो जाता है कभी-कभी.
बहुत. और अगेन कमिंग बैक टू द सेम थिंग कि पेरेंट्स आप ज़रूर रिस्पॉन्सिबल हैं, बट जहाँ आपको लगे कि आप नहीं मैनेज कर पा रहे, प्लीज़
टेक हेल्प. यस,
सीख हेल्प. आप मतलब बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जो अलग अलग तरह की सर्विसेज में हैं, यू नो, उनकी मदद लीजिए. खुद से मत सब कुछ करने की सोचिए.
जैसे हम मेडिकली कहते हैं सेल्फ मेडिकेशन इज वर्स,
राइट.
उस हिसाब से आप सिम्टम्स समझें और उस हिसाब से.
और अगेन व्हेन गुड दैट यू मेंशन मेडिकल, ये चीज़ देखिए कि कहीं डॉक्टर की ज़रूरत तो नहीं है. अगर बच्चा कोई ऐसा साइन दिखा रहा है विच इज़ नॉट नॉर्मल, देन गो आउट, look for that kind of a doctor, seek medical help. And recently, in fact yesterday only, there was some friend over and we were talking and came to know that somebody in her family itself committed suicide. Parents just said that वो 3 साल से डिप्रेशन में थी, 4 साल से डिप्रेशन में थी, and मतलब nobody knows what happened.
Being aware, help was not sought.
Absolutely, no help was sought.
क्योंकि हम सोचते हैं विद टाइम ठीक हो जाएगा.
हाँ, बहुत सारे लोगों को ये भी लगता है कि बीइंग डिप्रेस्ड और सेइंग दैट आई एम डिप्रेस्ड इज स्टाइलिश. राइट. क्योंकि आजकल डिप्रेशन बहुत फैंसी वर्ड है, तो इसलिए सब लोगों को डिप्रेशन होता है. नहीं, मुझे अपने एज में होता था डिप्रेशन, एंड आई यूज्ड टू टेल माय मदर दैट आई एम फीलिंग डिप्रेस्ड. यू नो, इफ आई एम फीलिंग डिप्रेस्ड, आई न्यू आई वुड स्लीप, यू नो, नॉट वांट टू टॉक टू पीपल, नॉट फेस दैट इशू. कुछ ऐसी प्रॉब्लम चल रही है, मे बी स्कूल में या कुछ भी अराउंड विद योर फ्रेंड्स और व्हाटएवर. And I used to feel that pressure within me, and I would just go off to sleep. That was my mechanism to deal with it, right? And
but सब बच्चे ये नहीं कर पाते. They need external help.
Absolute, नहीं कर पाते. और plus उस टाइम पे ये सारी हेल्प भी अवेलेबल नहीं थी, ना पेरेंट्स को पता होता था कि इस तरह की कोई हेल्प हम सीख कर सकते हैं कहीं पे. How many counselors did we have about, you know, maybe 30-40 years back?
It was not even a concept then.
Absolutely. तो अब जब है तो प्लीज़ उसको यूज़ कीजिए. पेरेंट्स शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ ऑल दिस. इट इज़ नॉट ओनली अबाउट चिल्ड्रन, इट्स अ लॉट टू डू विद द पेरेंट्स. यू आर ब्रिंगिंग अप, आप कितना रिस्पॉन्सिबल अपने बच्चे को बना रहे हैं. यू नो, व्हाट आर यू टीचिंग द किड्स. सिर्फ ज्ञान देना इम्पॉर्टेंट नहीं है, कुछ प्रैक्टिकली भी आप ऐसा अपना लाइफस्टाइल रखिए कि बच्चा भी देख के सीखे या आपको अपना मॉडल समझे कि मेरे पेरेंट्स ऐसे हैं तो मुझे भी ऐसा होना चाहिए.
Like they say कि बच्चे सबसे पहले पेरेंट्स को ऑब्जर्व करके सीखते हैं.
Absolutely, absolutely. If I am you know, indulging in social activities or I am doing anything of that kind where I am helping out in the society, my children will learn. कितने भी नालायक होंगे वो कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ पिक करेंगे. Yes. कुछ ना कुछ पिक करेंगे. आज नहीं इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे, अभी से 10 साल बाद करेंगे. Correct. या 15 साल बाद करेंगे. Right? वो it gets ingrained somewhere. You know, that's what I feel.
Okay. एक लास्ट टॉपिक जो आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी, जिसके लिए मैं भी क्यूरियस हूँ. ये जुवेनाइल प्रिजन और जुवेनाइल रिहैब कैसे, क्या कुछ बच्चे अनफॉर्चुनेटली जिन्हें फेस करना पड़ता है, तो कैसे, मतलब व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन ओवर देयर, व्हाट्स द एनवायरनमेंट ओवर देयर, क्या वो अपनी लाइफ बाहर आके रिहैब के जरिए बदल पाते हैं?
So going to that, Mansi, rehab is one of the things which happens there. Counselings are happening. The government has definitely been, you know, making efforts. Even in 2021, there have been some proposed amendments and all that. So yes, Juvenile Justice Act has been made with the sole intention of protecting the rights of children. Right?
Okay.
अगर आपसे गलती भी हो भी गई है, तो भी हम नहीं चाहते हैं कि हम समाज में वापस उस ऐसे बच्चे को डालें जो आगे कुछ और भी गलत करे. तो हम रिहैब करना चाहते हैं. देयर आर दोज, यू नो, those organizations which are working towards it along with the government. They are trying to take care of such children. There are beggars on the street.
Yes.
They are also taken care of by way of this act. There is adoption mechanism. So those are a lot of precautionary measures which the government has been taking. Why? Because the government is also governed by the constitution. The constitution also talks about rights for children, how they should be protected, and that there are certain, like for example, right to education, right? So that also becomes a part of the entire responsibility of the government. So yes, children are being rehabbed. अब कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें आप सोचिए कि कुछ अब आपका नेचर ही ऐसा है कि आप क्रिमिनल नेचर के ही हैं. So whatever amount of rehab may be done may not really work. But yes, the entire idea and the entire effort is to give back to the society some reformed kids. That is why they call it the Reformation homes. Yeah, they are reformed. You are trying to reform them.
Give them another
chance. Yes, हो जाती है गलती, कोई बात नहीं. बहुत सारे बच्चों से हो जाती है, जाने अनजाने.
Yes.
लेकिन the idea is not to leave them alone.
No.
Yeah, give them another fair chance to set up themselves.
और कुछ बच्चे ये चांस लेकर अपनी जिंदगी बनाते भी हैं.
बना भी सकते हैं बिल्कुल. और कुछ अडॉप्शन में चले जाते हैं, उस तरह की भी चीज़ें होती हैं. So yes, it's a great effort, and as a society we should be looking to help these kind of children rather than और उनको मतलब marginalize कर दो या फिर don't look at them in that manner. That will not help. So even if around us there have been children who've unfortunately gone through it, as a society we should make that effort.
Yes.
As a society,
take the first
we should
step.
make that effort.
Yeah.
Yes.
Such lovely speaking to you, Aparajita. I mean,
Thank you so much.
थोड़ा डिस्टर्बिंग भी था ये जानकर कि जो हम शायद पढ़ते हैं वो एक रियलिटी है, वो हमारे समाज में हो रही है और बच्चे कितने इनोसेंट है, कुछ इनोसेंटली इसमें ट्रैप हो जाते हैं. Children, I just want to tell you that be absolutely safe when you are maneuvering in this digital space. बहुत सारे perpetrators हैं. Perpetrators वो लोग होते हैं जो क्राइम क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं और आपको उसका हिस्सा बनाना चाहते हैं. ये आप पे डिपेंड करता है कि आप अपने आप को कितना सेफली इस डिजिटल स्पेस में रख पाते हैं. ऑन दैट नोट, अपराजिता की अपनी खुद की एक टीनेजर बेटी है एंड आई एम श्योर द मदर इज सो स्ट्रॉन्ग विल्ड एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग हेडेड, तो बेटी भी वैसे ही होगी. आइए जानते हैं ईशी के अपने थॉट्स क्या हैं. Hi Ishi and welcome to our show In Our Teens.
Hello.
So In Our Teens is never complete till in every episode we have teenage thoughts and perspective.
Thank you for having me here.
Such a pleasure. I want to ask you Ishi, when you turned 13, what was the first thought in your mind? I know it's way back but still. एक टीनेजर, कल मैं टीनेजर बनने वाली हूँ का thought process क्या होती है?
For some reason it's mesmerizing कि oh wow, finally I'm a teenager, लोग मुझे seriously ले लेंगे, मजे करेंगे हम लोग.
आप क्यों बोलती हैं ऐसे लोग मुझे seriously ले लेंगे?
When you're a kid, no one takes you seriously. So when you feel like oh finally I'm 13, finally I'm a teenager, you like people will look at me from a serious perspective. It was fun for a few days, then it wasn't.
Why wasn't?
Then you get some sense of responsibility regarding your studies, friendships, etc. So it is fun. The first thought of being a teenager was, कि मजे आएंगे, मजे करेंगे, बड़े हो गए हैं. But by the time you actually start growing, it kind of turns to more of a, now I have got some sense of responsibility in myself. I have got these expectations from my relatives, my parents, which I have to live up to.
Correct. So you are aware that एक तरह का ऐसा एक प्रेशर होता है जहाँ you have to excel. So ये जो teenagers में to excel का जो प्रेशर होता है in every aspect, be it the way you look, the clothes you wear, your studies, क्या इससे प्रेशर आप महसूस करती हैं?
हाँ, होता है बहुत बार कि I'm not looking pretty enough or I'm not excelling as well as other classmates. So you feel that sense of dissatisfaction in yourself कि I couldn't do more, I should have and I couldn't. तो प्रेशर एक रहता है थिंकिंग कि फैमिली वाले क्या सोचेंगे, रिलेटिव्स क्या सोचेंगे कि how am I, how is my personality or how am I doing in studies. because for some reason, which is natural to have expectations from, someone. So when you get to know a little bit, even a just about it, you start feeling that pressure कि okay, तो इन लोग को है, अब now what should I do? Should I go from my point of view or should I look at from their point of view?
तो ये आपके ये जो थॉट्स हैं ये आपके सेल्फ एस्टीम या सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस पे कितना, व्हाट इज द रेट फ्रॉम 1 to 10 कितना अफेक्ट करता है?
It, as I said, it depends on the
Situations.
situation.
Okay.
It depends on who it is and who it is coming from. You know, sometimes they'll be like, oh, you'll be a great doctor or you'll be a great psychologist. So what you initially planned to do, you have second thoughts about it. Ki, oh, maybe I should do this instead of doing that.
Ishi, you have second thoughts, like teenagers have these second thoughts. It is but natural to have second thoughts because by 12, 13 you hit an age of puberty. There are so many changes that happen in your body. You are gaining so much of knowledge from outside. So ये changes आप क्योंकि आपको नया knowledge मिला है उसके आधार पे है, या आप कोई आपके relatives में कोई बन गया IAS IPS, so you know parents बोलते हैं आप भी ये करना, क्या इससे influence होके ये pressure आता है या ये आपका खुद का thought process है?
बहुत सारे बच्चों के साथ होता है, where they kind of feel a forceful nature or forceful power towards them.
A dominating power.
A dominating power that, क्योंकि उन्होंने वो किया मुझे भी ये करना है.
Correct.
Thankfully in my situation my parents are lenient about it and they are like,
they're supportive of your decision.
They support of my decision and they're like, do whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, when you're working, you should not have this regression that, oh, why didn't I do this instead of doing this? But it honestly feels ki maybe because of some knowledge, but also because how others have excelled in that career, how others have done in that career. If someone tells me to be a doctor instead of being a psychologist for that matter, or being or doing engineering for that matter, thoughts तो आएंगे कि उनके बच्चे ने या उनके relative ने वो master किया, is that good? Has that been a great survival route for them? How did they feel by doing it? So ऐसे thoughts तो बहुत आते हैं, but it feels at the end of the day you have to be selfish and choose what you want to choose.
Yes.
Instead
being
of
selfish in the right way.
Being selfish in the right way.
कि मुझे क्या करना है और मैं कैसे excel कर सकती हूँ.
हाँ, तो once you come in 10th standard and because from there that your journey begins of
Changes,
choosing your career, you have to be selfish in some way. कि okay, so this is my life, this is what I have to do, not in the influence of others or in the peer pressure of others. कि मेरे friend ने engineering किया तो मुझे भी engineering करना चाहिए. If I go by that way, then I will never be able to take my own life decisions. Then I'll be dependent on someone. So it's better to be, focused on
make your own identity, understanding what is good for you and
Exactly.
how what your surroundings are telling you.
Exactly.
So do you believe as a teenager somewhere spirituality helps to have you that instinct that
It
tells you
does.
that inner voice? Do
There-
you feel that?
there
Are you a
is
girl
this-
that manifests? Are you a girl that does journaling or writing for your thoughts to,
Journaling and writing I do sometimes if I'm in the mood to write something. But I think everybody has that inner voice where they're like, I mean, yeah, this is great, but this is better.
okay.
So it all depends.
और क्या ये inner voice गलत चीजों के लिए भी वर्क होता है कि क्या आपको एक instinctively पता चल जाता है कि यार ये गलत है यार,
हाँ.
यहाँ से थोड़ा पीछे हट जाना चाहिए, क्या ऐसा
If
होता है?
you're aware that it is wrong, then even if you physically want to do that, mentally somewhere it will stop you. कि नहीं यार, अगर मैं ये कर दूंगी तो how will my parents react to this?
तो माँ बाप का ख्याल आता है.
हाँ, how will my friends react to this? Parents are okay, but friends is something, someone who respect you a lot. Someone at the end of the day, be with you because you are a good person.
Yes.
If you do something bad, then they won't be friends with you.
Yes.
Then it's difficult to make friends, which is, I think, fair enough.
Yes.
So if you're doing something bad and if you're doing something, which is not right, you get that inner voice की नहीं,
अब रुक जाना चाहिए.
अभी रुक जाना चाहिए, थोड़ा लिमिट क्रॉस हो रहा है यहाँ
Yes,
पे.
yes. That is so important. That is great upbringing. जहाँ बच्चे को पता चलता है कि देखो हर बच्चे मस्ती करते हैं, हर बच्चे मिस्टेक्स भी करते हैं, लेकिन मिस्टेक्स की भी एक हद होती है कि जहाँ हमें रुक जाना चाहिए अपने
मस्ती
आप से.
करने में किसको मजा नहीं आता. like masti karo, nobody's stopping you, but then masti karo which feels age appropriate,
Yes.
or feels like, okay, you know, you're not exceeding the certain limit where you're actually going to hurt someone.
Yes.
You want to make fun.
Yes.
Jokes are fine, but if you're taking jokes to a level where it can be an insult, then don't do it.
And harming another person.
Because
The
then
person.
then you're hurting someone
Yes.
and you're bringing someone's self-confidence down and
Yes.
self-love down,
Which is not right. Absolutely. So, Ishi, your thoughts on social media?
It's okay until unless you reach a point where you know what is right and what is wrong.
But do you think social media? I know we know we've always spoken about social media, the bad side of it. But social media also has a good side where if you maintain your account well, like you write poems. So if you can be a great influencer. Children can get that inspiration from you. So we can use social media from that point of view as well. Have you ever thought about it?
Yes, so social media, see, everything has a good side and a bad side. Even though there are bad people on the internet, there is cyberbullying and everything like that, there is a side where you really get to express yourself.
Yes.
And express what you have done in your life to influence the younger ones.
Yes.
And
make your own identity.
And
like
make your
when
own
people
identity.
scroll through your profile, they know what kind of a person you are.
What is your personality?
What's your passion? What's your interest?
Exactly. How you are as a person, that really reflects a lot. And if we say that now that technology is, upbringing and social media has become the new fancy thing, everybody is on social media.
Yes.
And so I do have friends, who have accounts where they express their poems, their writing, everything for,
Or their drawings.
or the drawings for that maybe validation
Yes.
from people, from their loved ones, from their friends.
And we all need that.
And
I mean,
yeah.
we love praises. We
Yeah.
love when people say good things.
We love
It
it.
boosts your self-confidence.
Exactly. So social media can be used as a place, where you can boost your self-confidence,
Yes.
boost your self-love, your
Yes. Self-love.
your insecurities. You can literally, if someone praises your insecurities, you feel like, oh damn, that's actually nice.
Yes.
You
Because
know?
nobody's perfect.
Because nobody is perfect, that's right. And so when someone compliments you or gives you that good validation, then you know that, yeah, okay, this isn't that bad as I thought it was.
And then does trolling affect you in your side?
Yes.
It affected me. I was doing one show and I
Trolling.
was trolled brutally. Trust me, 2 days were nightmare.
Trolling affects a lot,
Yes.
especially, when you're in an age where you're changing.
Yes.
You don't really have that specific control on your body. So if someone, makes fun of your obesity or makes fun of how you look or your complexion,
Do you come across that?
I do.
And what's your cope mechanism?
I genuinely just sleep through it. I'd rather I'll go and tell my mom can I talk to
Someone who can
a
help me.
counselor, someone
Yes.
who can help me.
Ishi, another thing that I wanted to ask you and I wanted to understand कि ये जो होता है ना fat shaming, ये क्या आपने इसे कभी एक्सपीरियंस किया है?
हाँ, बहुत
और क्या ये आपको अफेक्ट करता है?
बहुत ज़्यादा. People tend to make jokes on you. आप jokes बना रहे हो चलेगा. But they really don't know when they cross the line of making fun of you and then making fun with you. There's
a vast difference.
Yeah, there are two different things. And for some reason it has a silver lining for it. एक मिनट आपके साथ वो जोक्स बना रहा है, दूसरे मिनट वो आपके बारे में जोक्स बना रहा है. And when it comes from the person who you trust a lot or from the person you know, it genuinely hurts more. आपकी ओबेसिटी या आपके कॉम्प्लेक्शन या आप कैसे हो, कैसे दिखते हो, उसके ऊपर कोई जोक्स बनाए, किसी को पसंद नहीं आता वो. Nobody likes it and nobody wants to go through that. So it does affect, and I'm pretty sure it affects every
It
teenager.
does affect everybody, including people who are thin.
Yeah. I was
They
just
are
going to say that.
they're being made the center
you
of
be
that
too
joke.
fat, there's a problem. You be too thin, there's a problem. You're in the middle, there's a problem. Why don't you have a perfect body?
There is
The
nothing
reality
called perfect
is-
body.
Exactly. The reality is there is no perfect body. So one should, just like let go. If that person is your friend and if that person is making fun of you, leave that person as soon as possible. That person is the toxicity in your life which you do not need.
Yes.
If someone was your true friend, they will,
They
you
would
know,
accept you the way you are.
accept you the way you are. They won't ever make fun of you. In fact, they'll make fun with you. They'll be like, oh yeah, that's fun.
That's a lovely takeaway, Ishi. You know, fun of you and fun with you, understanding the difference between it. This is amazing. That's my major takeaway from today's chat show. Another thing I wanted to ask you, the last one. Sorry, I know I'm asking you a lot of questions, but I'm too intrigued in this. You know what goes on in this teenage world. Tell me about fashion. Tell me how much Gigi and Bella Hadid influence your universe.
So fashion, it honestly, you know, depends from person to person. Some people might like just, you know, cute shorts with a tank top or like, you know, crop top and like go around. Where some people might like, you know, dresses and lavish style.
तो एक particular brand होना या एक particular brand के shoes होना, like Air Jordans नहीं है तो problem है, ठीक है? या BTS का merchandise नहीं है तो problem है क्या? ये भी एक stress है?
हाँ, मतलब not very much like
है.
honestly, हाँ, but it's
और
very
आप
mild.
ये stress अपने parents पे कितना डालते हैं? कि mom सबके पास है मुझे चाहिए.
That honestly, it's more on, you know, devices than clothes.
Oh, okay. What kind of devices?
You know, हो गया आपका iPad हो गया या iPhone हो गया या you know mom, if I don't have a phone, they've got a new phone. I also want
Next
one.
generation.
Yeah, like a Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Yeah, but clothes pay, it's very mild at a certain point. Like people do, you know, in a way peer pressure you कि you should wear clothes from only this brand. But in my opinion, wear clothes which you are comfortable with. Like I would rather just wear like this shorts and a top and like be fine with it. And it does not matter from where I got it. Be it thrifting, be it from a branded store, or be it from
You just want comfortable wear.
I just want something in which I am comfortable in which, you know, I won't have struggles at the end of the day.
So speaking to you, Ishi, I've realized more than being comfortable in your clothes, you are comfortable in your skin.
I am.
And that really matters. And that comes from a great upbringing.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
I must congratulate
Thank
you and your hubby for inculcating such wonderful thoughts in this child.
Thank you so much. We are equally proud of her because, you know, this clarity of thought and
It's
this
so
age,
important.
Yes, it's very important. So,
On that note, Ishi, I just want to thank you and your mum for being there on our show in our teens.
thank you so much. Thanks.
A little something for you on your study table. Jade is very lucky.
Yes.
I think Mama will steal this from me. Keep it somewhere in the house.
We'll have one
now,
more cent for
please.
Mama so that you can keep yours. Once again, thank you so much for being on our show. And we really appreciate having you, having your thoughts shared with our viewers. ये प्लेटफॉर्म हमने इसीलिए बनाया था ताकि हमारे ऑडियंस को पता चले कि पेरेंट्स और टीनेजर्स का रिलेशनशिप कैसे होता है and how to maneuver through this delicate, situation that we go through. So thank you
so
once
much,
again.
Mansi, for having us over.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure and an experience, and a lot of things, as you said earlier, you know, you parents come to know
Yes,
only when
yes.
they are on the show.
I'm sure अभी घर जाते थे conversation होगा ये बात तो मुझे कहीं नहीं.
So
Right.
yes, I've always known that, you know, she has clarity of thought, but yes, you know, and on such a platform, hearing it out is nice.
इशी आप पोम लिखती हैं तो प्लीज हमारे शो के लिए एक पोम लिखे और एक वीडियो बनाकर हमें जरूर भेजें.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely, it would be our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so
so
much,
much.
Mansi. Thanks a lot.
Safety and safe environment is a basic right of every child. Without safety, there is no growth. On that note, signing off from today's episode. लेकिन हम जल्द लौटेंगे एक नए एपिसोड के साथ, एक नई जानकारी के साथ. Till then, keep watching In Our Teens. And do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.